Hello, my name is Nathan and welcome to Learn Music Theory. So today's video is inspired by a video done by a good mate of mine, Darryn. So if you're not sure who Darryn is, he's one of Australia's premier drummers. I'll leave the link to his YouTube channel in the description. Highly recommend you check it out. It's fantastic. Today's video, it's the music theory books that you need to own. So the first book, or books, in this list, A Modern Method for Guitar by William G. Liebert. Now back in the day, this was known as the Berklee book because it was used at the Berklee College of Music in Boston. It's one of the best books you can buy if you're a beginner guitar player who wants to learn to read music. So the good thing about this book is it starts from the very basics. On the first page, you have all the information there. 19 pages in, and you're already reading eighth notes or quavers. This is one of the best books I've ever read, and it was recommended to me by one of my guitar teachers when I turned 15 because I never knew how to read music. But I'm so thankful that I actually got this book and that I worked through it because it helped me so much in my later playing. So you can purchase this book in individual volumes. There's 3. Okay. Or you can purchase in a bundle on Amazon. All the links to these books will be in the description. So the second book that you must own, again, is in 2 parts. The first part is the Frank Gambale Technique book, book 1. Okay. Now this book, along with the Berklee book, are probably 2 of the most important theory books in my own development. My own approach to the instrument and my knowledge about soloing and improvisation comes from this book. The best part about this book is that it talks about different approaches over different types of chords. So it breaks it down into different ways that you can play certain notes over certain chords, but more importantly, why you can use those scales or arpeggios or triads over certain chords, how they fit. So it goes into depth, and it's such a great resource because it's directed at a guitar player. However, once you understand why you can use a Dorian scale or Dorian mode over a minor 7 chord, you can apply that to any instrument that you play. So I highly recommend this book, Frank Gambale Technique Book 1. The second volume takes off where the other one finished. Okay, so the first book is all about minor 7 chords, major 7 chords, and dominant 7th. The second book is all about altered dominant chords, minor 7 flat 5, diminished, and all those type of things there. Okay, so Frank Gambale Technique Book 1 and 2, highly recommend. So the next book that you must own is this one, Ted Green's Chord Chemistry. Now, I've had the privilege to talk to several students of the late Ted Green's, and they have assured me that he was on another level. His approach to the instrument, his knowledge of the instrument was second to none, and he went very, very deep with his understanding of how to play the instrument, different styles, the history of different artists, and the music. Most importantly, music theory as it relates to this instrument. So chord chemistry is, as the name suggests, all about guitar chords. Now, if I open up to a random page here, you can see just how much depth. There's all these different voicings, what we call voicings, or different ways to arrange the notes of a chord. For minor chords, 6 chords, 6/9 chords, dominant 7th chords, 9th chords, 6/9 chords, sharp 11, augmented 7, 13 flat 9s. It's all in here, okay? So Chord Chemistry by Ted Green. As well as chord chemistry, Ted Green also put out another great book, Jazz Guitar Single Note Soloing, Volume 1, okay? Now this one, again, as the name suggests, is all about soloing in a jazz sense. So it talks about the different types of scales over different chords, things how to memorize runs, how to play chord tones over a D6/9 chord. Okay, so it really goes into it's a real deep dive. And there's no guitar tablature, it's just chord boxes and music notation. So for the guitar player who wants to be able to communicate with other instruments, other instrumentation in whatever ensemble they're playing on, can't go wrong. Ted Green's Jazz Guitar Single Note Soloing, Volume 1. So the next book is an interesting one. And I say interesting because it's not a step-by-step method. Do this, do that, do this, and then this will happen. It's a very open book. It's called The Advancing Guitarist by Mick Goodrick. All right. Now, this is applying guitar concepts and techniques. So rather than saying do this, this, and this, it takes more of the idea of, look, here's something I think you could use, and if you wish to put that into your playing, you can. Here's how you can do that. If you want to do that, here it is. It's kind of presenting pieces of musical information to you, and then you do with that what you will. For example, there's a study of intervals, okay, melodic and harmonic. So there's certain ways that you can play your intervals on your instrument. You can look at different octaves of playing intervals. It's a really, so combination playing, okay? So the realm of the electric ice skating rink, okay? So it's very abstract, but at the same time, there is a lot of information here that if you apply to your instrument, you will see it absolutely skyrocket, okay? So The Advancing Guitarist by Mick Goodrick is a book you must own. So the last two ones are a little bit different. The Rhythm Bible, all right? The Rhythm Bible by Dan Fox. What I like about this book is that it is applicable to any instrument. As you can see, there's all the different instruments on the front cover. All music has a rhythm to it, okay? Whether you're a guitar player, a drummer, bass guitar, vocalist, piano, saxophone, flute, okay, trombone, doesn't matter. You will be playing notes in different rhythms. So we need to be able to look at a piece of music and be able to understand what it's asking us to do rhythmically. So this book is fantastic. As it says, the Rhythm Bible, okay? So it starts out with all these examples, 4/4 time, whole, half, and quarter notes for rests, okay? So it starts at the very, very basic. And then we look at ties over the bar line. So you start to look at ties. You start to look at staccato dots, eighth notes, all the way dotted quarter notes and eighths. Then you've got 2 16th notes and 8-note figures, dotted eighths, all the way through syncopation and anticipations of the different beats. You can spend months going through this book on your respective instrument. You could open up a random page, pick a random example, guitar for example. If you picked out, let's say, example, say 723 here in this book, it could take you weeks to do that in every key, in every position, in every mode, in every scale, okay? It's just purely rhythmic information, okay? So I highly recommend this book, The Rhythm Bible by Dan Fox. It's a book you must own. And lastly, the book I'm going to show here might be a little bit abstract. However, it's this one, all right? So it's a vocal transcription of 12 of the Beach Boys hits. Now, if you're familiar with the Beach Boys' work, you'll know how intricate and dense, complex, yet accessible their vocal harmonies were. If you're not a fan of the Beach Boys or you haven't really heard of them before, definitely check them out, okay? Their vocal harmonies are absolutely outstanding. This book is a vocal score with the vocal harmonies transcribed. Now, if you were to just take this book and read through it, and you could maybe write out a couple of the lines on a piece of paper, and then analyze the notes compared to the scale and the key that it's in, you'll start to see the genius behind Brian Wilson and his harmony writing, but you'll also start to understand some key concepts about vocal harmony. And my rule is, if you want to be the best, go to the best, right? So these guys, undoubtedly some of the best vocal harmonies you'll hear, along with the Beatles, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Simon & Garfunkel, and the like. All right, so this is the Beach Boys note-for-note vocal transcriptions. If you can read through this, you'll understand how they made their vocal harmonies and how they made the soundtrack to the 1960s. Thanks for watching, guys. So they're the music theory books that you must own. I'll leave a link in the description to all of those books so you can purchase those. And if there's a book that you think I've missed and that you'd like to recommend as well, put it in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you soon.